Let's talk about what value really means. There was a time when value meant something, but not of late. And part of the reason is Madison Avenue. You know, what happened was we discovered that there was a market position, there was a way of being called the low price leader that was attractive to consumers. The problem was, of course, that drawing the consumer's attention to price was not something that was considered wise. It made you sound like the Sultan of Schlock. It made you sound like you were cheap goods, the inferior product. And so they started to use the term best value. And value came to be equated with low price. Value, though, is not really that at all. Value is actually a ratio. It's the amount of quality of product and service combined that I'm able to get for a given price. Right? It's a ratio of quality to price. And so if you're thinking about how do I increase my value, well, there are 4 ways you can do it. The obvious one, the one everybody thinks about automatically, is keep doing what you're doing, just charge a little bit less. Maintain your quality, just cut your price. One variation on this that we've started to see increasingly, especially from big box stores, chain stores, and frankly from some very astute competitors in this space, is we'll give them a little bit less quality. It's still good enough to work, but it's less than what they're used to. And as a result of giving them that little bit less quality, we'll find a way to greatly reduce our cost of operation and therefore significantly reduce price. In the old days, it was consumers distributing. Today, that might be IKEA, right? Think about it, IKEA. IKEA can sell you a bookcase for less than it costs me to buy the wood. Right? They have found a way to reduce the quality down. Now, when I make a bookcase, it is a work of art. Let's be honest. You know, my wife calls it impressionistic, but that's another story. But they are built for speed. They are built to compete at that price point, and that's fine. The 2 other ways that we would like to do it, however, is what I would like to do is say to the customer, I'm going to give you the same price that I've always charged, but I'm going to give you something more in return, something more than you've ever received before. Or, in fact, we can play it even better. I can significantly increase the quality, and I can give that to you at an only slightly higher price. There are 2 reasons why we would always prefer to deliver value with quality over price. Let me show you the first. Anyone got a watch that's got a sweep hand on it or a digital watch? I want you to time me on something. You say go, and then I'll tell you when to stop timing, okay? Done. How long? 2 seconds. That's how long it takes to make a price cut. Think about it. The beauty of price as a competitive weapon is the speed with which you can make it happen. It's a stroke of a pen. As long as you're willing to make less money, you can cut price, no problem. Now, if you cut price and people start migrating to your store, how long do you think it takes the competition to match your price cut? 2 seconds. How many sales can you make in 2 seconds? Not many, right? That's what we call a very narrow window of opportunity. Because that's the period of time when you get to legitimately stand before your clients and say, I have something the competition doesn't have. I have lower prices than they have. Now, what if you took the income that you would give up through that price cut? Remember, 1% price cut translates into 12.5% of your profitability in your industry. What happens if I took that foregone income and instead of giving it to you in low price, I gave it to you in extended hours? A 724 hotline that you could call into. Better counseling services. Better adherence services. Free clinics. Diagnostics delivered to you right in the pharmacy. If I did that and the competition saw customers migrating in order to achieve those services, How long would it take them to be able to copy me? A lot longer than 2 seconds, huh? And that, ladies and gentlemen, that's the period of time where you can advertise that you have something that nobody else has. That's the period of time when you can start to justify a higher price than your competition can charge. Why? Because you're giving something that no one else can. There's nothing wrong with a price cut, and frankly, there are consumers at points in time that want and need a price cut, right? I mean, if I've lost my job, notwithstanding my under normal circumstance preference to get quality over price, I may have no choice, but to buy from the lowest price. So there's absolutely no problem in doing that, provided the price cut is made possible by a cost reduction. I'll give you a very quick example. Procter & Gamble announced 2 weeks ago that they would bring out a new laundry detergent. A laundry detergent called Tide Basic. Tide Basic. And you might say, well, what's so great about Tide Basic? And the answer is, it's a lot cheaper than Tide Ultra. Why? Well, it's because Tide Ultra is designed to get your clothes whiter than white, brighter than bright. Right? But somebody at Procter & Gamble had the good common sense to say, you know what? There are times where white and bright are good enough. And when we strip out those ingredients that deliver the brighter and the whiter than white, brighter than bright, all of a sudden we discover that last little bit of quality cost us the most money. Think about your own business. Think about the cost of dispensing drugs relative to the cost of consulting with a patient on the use of those drugs. Which is more expensive for you? It's the last little bit of quality, isn't it? So I'm not recommending now that you stop consulting with patients, but by no stretch of the imagination. But the same thing applies in this instance. If I can remove costs from the system, by all means pass it on. If I don't have a cost, why should my customer? Right? That's just good business. We would call that a win-win proposition.